Have you ever felt like the more you want something, the further away it seems to get? As if the universe is playing a cruel game of the more you chase, the less you reach? Majesty, maybe no one has told you this yet, but wanting something too much might actually be what's holding your life back. The truth is, there's a secret to getting what you want, and it's called detachment. And detachment isn't about giving up. Detachment is about stopping the habit of caring about the wrong things. Because when you start practicing the law of detachment, your energy shifts, your power blossoms, and life begins to flow. In this video, I'm going to show you how to break free from the cycle of fear of failure, release the weight of control, and finally walk forward with self-confidence toward your most authentic and liberated self. Stick with me until the end, because what you're about to discover today might be the turning point of your life. 1. Wanting too much blocks. Majesty, have you ever noticed how we grow up hearing that we have to chase our goals, give it our all, sacrifice everything to get what we want? But no one tells us that wanting something too much can turn into an emotional trap. The more we force things, the more our body freezes, our mind races, our energy blocks, and our heart fills with fear. That fear of failure sneaks in, whispering, "What if none of this works?" And suddenly, performance anxiety is born. The fear of trying and failing, all rolled into one. And can I be honest? I've sabotaged myself so many times because of this. I've missed out on beautiful opportunities because I wanted to get it right so badly that I froze. It's like when you desperately need a job, and during the interview, you start sweating, stuttering, forgetting your own name. It's not because you're not capable. It's because excessive wanting creates tension, and tension ruins everything. On top of that, the energy of "I need this to work" suffocates your essence, your most unique and special self. The mind, overwhelmed by overthinking, forgets what truly matters: presence, calm, and authenticity. And so, despite all your effort, nothing flows. This excessive wanting usually comes from a deep-rooted belief that we'll only be worthy once we achieve that thing. But ironically, it's this attachment to the result that most blocks what we want from actually arriving. The secret? It's not about giving up your desire, but about releasing the need to control and trusting more in the natural flow of life. And look, in the next topic, we're going to expose one of the biggest traps that fuels this cycle of pressure: perfectionism. 2. The false promise of perfection. The pursuit of perfection is a sophisticated trap. It disguises itself as self-improvement, but deep down, it's just fear of failure in disguise. We believe that if we're perfect, no one will criticize, reject, or abandon us, as if being flawless were the passport to love, success, and belonging. But that only distances us from our humanity, our essence, and our freedom. How many times have you caught yourself redoing a project, a caption, or even a simple message over and over, afraid it's not good enough? That pattern is exhausting and unrealistic. Perfectionism has nothing to do with excellence. It's born from insecurity and self-judgment. It's your self-worth being measured by someone else's standards. But let's be real, the perfect woman doesn't exist. If there's one thing we need to remember, it's this: vulnerability isn't weakness. It's pure courage. It's saying, "This is me, even if I'm not perfect." Spirituality teaches us that imperfection is part of the plan. Neuroscience proves that making mistakes is part of learning. And life shows us every day that those who dare to be real live more lightly, simply because they live in tune with their essence. And speaking of lightness, just wait until you understand what happens when we stop caring so much about the result. Another silent root of the fear of failure. 3. The trap of caring too much about results. We were taught that if we care deeply, everything will work out. But that's a trap. Caring too much turns desire into a burden. And giving your best doesn't always lead to the result you want. Because we don't control everything, when we're obsessed with the outcome, we stop living the process. The fear of failure takes over. The mind switches into survival mode, and we lose access to our natural glow. And when the final result doesn't go as planned, we drown in frustration for losing the war. instead of recognizing the battles we won along the way. Remember that date where you wanted to make a great impression so badly that you ended up not being yourself? Or that presentation where you were so nervous, you forgot everything you knew? That's not bad luck. That's the excessive attachment to control sabotaging your spontaneity. Overthinking, sweaty palms, racing heart, all because your energy was locked on the result, not on what you really wanted to express to get there. When we stop caring so much about what's out of our hands, something magical happens. Lightness flows in, and with it, a new belief. Caring lightly throughout the process helps me act better and gives me a higher chance of success. The action still happens, but now it comes from a place of self-trust, from presence. In the next topic, we'll dive deep into this turning point, the Law of Detachment, the missing link between desire and manifestation. 4. The Law of Detachment, lightness and self-confidence letting. Go doesn't mean abandoning your goal. It means releasing the illusion that you control every step of the path. The Law of Detachment teaches us to act with presence and trust in the unseen, whether you're more spiritual or science-driven. Neuroscience calls this the flow state. When you surrender to the moment and everything clicks effortlessly, that's where the magic happens. We often confuse control with safety, but control is just anxiety dressed up as planning. When you release control, you don't lose your power. You activate your true power, that energy of someone who trusts themselves, even without guarantees. Someone who plants the seed, nurtures it, but doesn't suffocate the soil. Someone who knows that whatever happens, they'll know how to handle it. Majesty, when you act with intention and detachment, you create space for life to surprise you. You perform better, sleep more peacefully, and vibrate at a frequency of abundance. Letting go isn't losing. It's freeing yourself from a weight you were never meant to carry. And that's when self-confidence blooms, not because of the outcome, but because you begin to recognize yourself in the process. 5. You are already enough. And you've already won. We live chasing an invisible trophy that never arrives, always thinking we need to do more, be more, prove more. But what if I told you that you've already won? That the simple fact you keep going, even while afraid, already makes you magnificent? Self-worth isn't earned out there. It blooms inside, the moment you stop fighting who you already are. And I'll be honest, I spent years trying to become someone while ignoring all that I already was. Society sells us the idea that success is a destination, the ideal body, the perfect career, the movie-like relationship. But real success is having the courage to be yourself through it all. It's living. In truth, even when that truth is inconvenient, it's stopping the need to ask for permission to exist. You don't need to be smarter, prettier, or more spiritual. You just need to recognize yourself more and be loyal to who you are. And recognizing and being loyal to yourself is a deep act of empowerment. Majesty, do you know what's truly liberating? Realizing that there's nothing wrong with you. You're not behind. You're not lost. You're on your path, and it matters. Personal growth isn't about becoming a superwoman. It's about taking off the masks, releasing the weight, and walking in authentic living. And if you still feel trapped by the need to please and seek approval, take a deep breath. What comes next will change how you see yourself. 6. Stop. Living for other people's approval. Living to please is like wearing a gorgeous pair of shoes, 2 sizes too small. They look good, but they hurt. And yet, you keep walking like everything's fine. The fear of judgment rents space in our minds and charges us a high price, our freedom and our self-confidence. When you start making decisions based on others' opinions, you abandon your essence, and little by little, you disconnect from who you really are. Majesty, stop caring about what doesn't support your truth. You know that phrase, just be yourself? It's deeper than it seems. Being yourself takes courage because it means disappointing expectations that were never yours. It means putting your values above your need for approval. When you begin living aligned with your truth, something magical happens. Your energy shifts, your self-confidence grows, and the world starts responding differently. Because life respects those who respect themselves. Authentic living isn't about being perfect, it's about being whole. And now that you've let go of perfection and judgment, it's time to integrate all of this with lightness. You become truly powerful the day you stop caring about the wrong things, all the ones I mentioned in this video. When you understand that you don't have to control everything, please everyone, or be perfect to live fully. And that life isn't just about results. You weren't born to fit in. You were born to expand, to enjoy, and to evolve through the process. Fear of failure only has power when you believe you have something to prove. But today, right now, you can let that go. Release it. The woman you want to become, she's already inside you. She doesn't need more validation, more applause, more struggle. She just needs room to breathe, to live with lightness, courage, and truth. Transformation doesn't happen when everything changes on the outside. It happens when you change what you believe about yourself and about the natural flow of life. And then, Majesty, everything begins to flow. Now tell me, what are you still holding on to that you could let go of today? What would you stop postponing for fear of failure and actually do if you trusted yourself more? If this video spoke to you, share it with a friend who also needs to learn to let things flow. And if you want to keep going on this journey of empowerment and spiritual growth, watch this next. Habits that destroy your self-confidence and how to break free from them.